Do
Hello, and welcome to the next episode of Chicken and the Fat Lady, where facts are currency and common sense is a commodity. This week, we're just going to be talking about trending topics, everything from Anthony Fauci, Nolan Wells, Abdul Al Saeed's wonderful victory
commanding
in
win.
Michigan last night by the skin
Yep.
of his teeth. Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm chicken. And that's the fat lady.
And
Uh
I'm the fat lady. Sorry. I'm just like, I'm so excited about Abdul's win. So, yeah.
no, yeah. No, of course we'll get to it because I know the broader thing is just like the media in general.
Yes.
So the last week, as everyone's sort of seen, is that they put Fauci back on the stand again, because once again, Republicans are prophets. They said that there was a witch hunt against them, only for them to turn around and create a witch hunt against someone else, and that's pretty much all that it is. I mean, you bring up someone who was a leading professional on how to handle COVID-19, and you're
During
just
the
going after
first Trump administration,
exactly
along with Doris Burke.
who you're going after what he was writing in his diaries, his personal
Right.
items that have nothing to do, no medical, because all it was he was just kind of like flabbergasted at all the fame that it was getting,
Yeah.
all the notoriety. That's really all it
Right.
came down to. And I saw the clip of him testifying about, you know, what he was saying about the severity of COVID, in reference to that time frame. And I saw a clip of Laura Ingraham, basically, your Fox News cutting the clip short of what his actual thoughts. They only got the setup to what he was answering, and then just his actual thoughts were cut off. And you see the whole clip, and you understand that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. As we said
Well,
before, a bunch of
my thing
these.
with him, though, but my thing with Fauci is they took a private journal that they somehow
Yes,
obtained.
yeah,
And just because you have a private thought about everything doesn't mean you need to advertise it. Because Anthony Fauci, eh, as far as I know, is of the baby boomer era. I didn't grow up dry snitching on myself all over social media. So why would someone in the government kind of do that? You can have the juxtaposition of the two is honestly is allowed. He's allowed to have private thoughts, but
yeah,
those private thoughts may cause panic in public. So that's not what you want to air. And also, maybe if the science is not pointing that way, just because his feelings are that doesn't mean that that's where the science was going on that. So
right.
again, your feeling snowflakes. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and as people have made a comparison, I mean, Trump multiple times pleading the fifth during his own
Right.
court hearings and whatnot, and all the Republicans not really batting an eye to him doing that, but suddenly, because they want to
And
go
several have
after
done it on the
someone.
Hill as well. Several have
It,
done it
it,
during congressional hearings as well.
exactly. I mean, there's nothing inherently there's not an inherent guilt in exercising your right, because that's why we have it there. But uh the whole thing, because it we know what it is. We said it before. All of these people, who were saying they didn't want a diaper on their face, this, then the third, are now running around in their ice masks. So these are the same people who put bandages on their ear over a fake shooting. Let's get that. Sorry, not fake. It was staged.
There was
Excuse
a
me.
shooting that
There was
happened,
a
but
real
the blood
shooting.
on his ear came from the doctor. I believe it was, I think he was a doctor. I'm not sure if he was a doctor,
I
but from the gentleman who was murdered in
believe
the,
he was a the
yeah,
firefighter, I think, or an EMT,
he
something
was
like that.
some
Yeah,
kind of something,
in the crowd.
person who cared about
Uh,
people, but just
but
not
but
voted for
played
that.
it like, he was the one who took some physical damage.
Right.
You
Right.
know. So again, liars, thieves, cheaters. Um,
And
and so
the
the
other
whole,
thing, can we just go to
yeah,
that for just the Band-Aid thing for a minute? Because
yeah,
if you look at his hands stay consistently bruised.
yeah,
Had his ear been grazed
yeah,
or partially a little bit taken off, I know, family. I know you're not going to like this. But had that been so, it would have taken a whole lot longer to heal. And
of
there would
course.
have been some trace or leave behind of some that on skin that age on a man of his age. That's why I'm
Right.
saying this. There would have been a noticeable kind of injury to that ear. Sorry, go ahead.
All good. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been gone over before by medical professionals. They're like,
Right,
that's
right,
not how
right,
any of that works.
right,
So,
right,
but it's okay because, Republicans don't need to be medical professionals. They can
right,
until they act like it when they want to go after
right,
people like Fauci. People take your vaccines, make your kids take the vaccines, like whatever it may be. I mean, yes, it's you're well within your right to question something, but you know, when there's overwhelming evidence that vaccines in general work, take it. And when someone of a higher authority is telling you and is giving you instructions at a rapid pace because they're trying to keep up with the outbreak of the pandemic so that it does not continue to spread, that is not hasty judgment. I mean, a bunch of people were listening to the president talk about bleach, drinking bleach, and Joe Rogan talking about ivermectin. Yes, there's a human version of ivermectin, but no one knew that at the time. It was a horse thing, right? So there's this whole back and forth, this, that, and the third.
but and with that,
Just listen to
that's
your medical professionals. Listen to the people who are in their professions, who have gone to school to do that.
absolutely.
It's
But
just
and the
ultimately,
ivermectin thing is so it's so I'm going to use the word. It's so interesting.
yeah,
It's so just fucking ridiculous because they're rallying against the pharmaceutical companies while taking pharmaceutical drugs. Like
oh yeah, well yes,
because it was meant for an animal, somehow it's not still the same big fucking pharma.
right.
I mean, the idiocy. And then they tout around, I'm so goddamn smart. I'm fucking taking a horse dewormer. And then I'm ending up in the hospital because the side effects are scaring the shit out of me. And I don't know what to do because I'm an idiot and I took ivermectin. And they're
Yeah,
still talking about that bullshit on Capitol Hill. They're
yeah.
still talking about that as if that is a valid form of protection for what you should do. You fucking idiots. And I can't stand Dana Bash. But the only good thing Dana Bash has ever said, as far as I'm concerned, was the other day when she was interviewing RFK, and he was telling her that she wouldn't understand things because she wasn't a scientist, and she
Yeah,
came back with, "Neither are you.
neither. Yeah,
Neither are you." But the way that they talk down to all of us, the way that Donald Trump bashed his base, America's shit, it's a shithole, it's going to be a shithole until I get in, then I'm going to make it great. So
right.
you're literally telling your people they already fucking suck, and that made them want to vote for you? What kind of psychological trauma are y'all all carrying?
Deep Freudian icebergs are happening for sure.
So, and to the media,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
So to put a close on that part of the healthcare thing, just uh, you, we look to certain people to be experts for things because they go to professions and they do these things, and most of the time they need to be believed and not just well, the deep state or any whatever conspiracy theory you want to track onto. But yeah, it was just stupid. I was just like, are we still doing this? And of like, of course, because it's all
Right.
media coverage to take away from Iran and the
Absolutely.
IDF
I
stuff,
mean, why
the
are we
Epstein
having this hearing?
files.
Why
Yeah.
are we not having a hearing about why affordability is still not here for the rest of us? Why are we not having a hearing on why it is that we're not doing anything about the illegal war that we're in? Because Congress never authorized that.
It
Not
still
saying that
hasn't. Yeah.
those pieces of shit wouldn't,
Well,
because
yes, but it still hasn't officially
the
been.
Zionists and the
Yeah.
Republicans would absolutely vote for that.
Yeah.
So we're not doing anything about stuff that's actually harming the American people. And I
Right.
do find it very rich that these pieces of shit who were going against, as you said, the masks, the vaccines, everything, now suddenly care about the over 1 million people that died during COVID
Right.
and couldn't have given two shits about them then because there was nothing politically to gain from them. And
Yeah.
then you have the idiot fucking Aaron Rodgers piece of shit who was out playing with his teammates when he had COVID. Go on the, oh my God, Pat McCaffrey show the other day, talk about Tony Fauci, what are you doing, man? Shut the fuck up, Aaron. Just shut the fuck up. We don't give a shit about you and your conspiracy theorist ass.
Right.
Go get a fucking job and shut the fuck up. Seriously, I don't know why anybody puts any weight behind this guy's opinion. They overinflated him to be some great fucking quarterback. And how many rings does he have? I think it's one. And then they just let him go on the field. And I've never heard Aaron Rodgers take accountability for fucking anything.
No, of
Yes,
course not.
I watched that bullshit on about the NFL. I love that shit. When we watch when we watched the camp shit. But he never took accountability. It was always someone else's fault. He's the
Right.
one throwing the fucking ball, but it's always someone else's fault. This guy wouldn't know something decent if it smacked him in the face in the mirror. I'm just sorry. I don't.
You just
We
can't. Yeah.
continue to. It's just we overly inflate. Um. Again, like you said, uneducated people.
Right.
Just
Or
because
celebrities.
we've all gone to YouTube University for something, right? We've
Right.
all looked up something medical on YouTube. We've all done that bullshit. But do I take that over a physician's opinion? Absolutely not.
Exactly. We all call the doctor at the end of the day, right?
That's right.
Here's what I want to, as a bridging of the gap, right? You know, between the people who want to say like defund the police and the people who are like shitting on the medical community because they're like, vaccines are evil or whatnot, right? We still both call those emergency services. If someone's breaking into the house, I'm even if I'm like defund the police, I'm still calling 911 to get the police looking over here because that's their job. If your kid has a fucking broken leg, or God forbid, you get a rash on your leg, you're going to the fucking doctor still, right? Like,
You're going to figure it out. Yep. Yep.
yeah. So these two things don't square up. The only difference is, the defund of the police people are like, hey, we're not like get rid of the entire police structure. We're like,
No, they just want you to fund our schools. And so if we
yes,
would if we
and
would
not
put more into
SWAT teams and things
education,
like that.
right. Right.
While
Not
medical
every
people are.
Could you explain to me why Sarasota County in Florida needed a fucking tank for what to
Exactly.
so Bradenton could use it to go after IMG? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, I mean, I just there's no need for all of this. That money could go towards education, which I want to bring up now because that will kind of bridge the gap. I mean, Abdul Al Saeed was outspent
Yep.
9-1
Yep.
in Michigan. He won by 1 percentage point by the scathing skin of his teeth. Like, it's shocking that it was not a greater deal. But then you realize you started to hear from voters and voters who hadn't heard him. But when they
Mhm.
talked to him directly, instead of listening to those bullshit ads that were put out on TV by
Right.
APAC about him,
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, he has my interest at heart. This is the nonsense. And I'm so tired of the Democrats trying to divide leftists and the black community. Guess what? The leftists and the black community, they will all want the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, yes, traditionally the black community has been more conservative. They have not been so friendly to the LGBT community, but
Right.
so my white family wasn't either, right? So there are those strains, but for me, again, transgender rights are human rights. People all have the same rights for me. I don't
Yeah.
care, it is not for me to decide how a person feels on the inside. And I just want you one time to think about what it would feel like if you didn't identify with that body that was staring at you in the mirror. How would you feel? I mean, it's got to be crippling. It's got to be soul crushing
I mean,
to not have that.
you don't even have to like go that far. I just always go, be a good person and mind your business. It
Yeah.
doesn't
No,
matter
but
if I
yeah,
don't
but
like,
I'm just saying, because
yeah.
this is,
Most people
so
don't
this is
have the mental wherewithal to even like
make
they're
that
not
leap.
empathetic enough to
Right.
even do that. So it's just
Right.
mind your own business,
Right. Right. Right.
keep
So,
just be a
I
good
mean,
person and mind your own business.
the guy, he's so charismatic and he
Yeah.
believes what he says. And this guy was setting up things and making sure that Michiganders were taken care of. And did you fucking Van Jones? Van Jones, Jesus
He's pissed
fucking
me off for
Christ.
so I
Oh
mean
my God. He's such a fucking corporate Democrat. He's
yeah, to
so
more
far
about the
in the
media.
tank.
Yeah.
Right? Like seriously, he's so far in the tank, and that's what you're seeing. Truthfully, this
Yeah.
is not the both sides shit. This is the fucking bullshit Fox Newsers and the Maxes and the OANs and all that. This is
Yeah.
MS Now. This is CNN. This is everybody. They all want to hang on to their jobs. They're
Yeah.
all corporate fucking people.
Uh,
They are all the elitists. So none
yes.
of them should be telling you about the elitists because they are the elitists.
Right. They're controlling the narrative on what their class looks like. And that's not, I mean, fucking Joe Scarborough, I just want to punch him so hard in the throat. I just, because the worst is he's flip-flopped. He wants to be like
Oh
this
yeah. Oh yeah.
conservative, like, well,
Yeah.
Trump this, that, and the third, right? And then go, well, Mr. President, you're doing something wrong because the Democrats said this, that, and the third. But then he wants to go back to be like, well, the DSA is a bunch of socialists. I mean, come
Right.
on, like what are you, stupid? I mean, this is the same guy who fucking was like old man yelling at clouds when the whole thing about the college protests wanting to divest from Israel. And he's going, where are the adults? And I screamed at the TV, they're out there protesting. Those
Exactly.
people that you see as kids are 18,
Exactly.
19, 20, 21,
Mhm.
22. They're adults. They have made an informed decision to protest. Just because they're younger than you and don't agree and don't align with your ideals doesn't mean a damn thing. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Doesn't mean they're less than. So yes, him, Van Jones. God, what's I saw Jennings the other day back
Oh
on, and
my
he's
God.
thrown like this peach fuzz goatee.
Right. Right.
He's waiting to
Right.
be a bear at a gay club or
Oh,
something like that.
absolutely. Oh,
I mean,
oh,
just
he
like
already, yeah, absolutely. He already is.
he
He
pursed
already
his
is.
lips and
What is that
uh
about those Republican men? Stephen Miller talks that way. Donald Trump talks that way. Pete Hegseth talks that way. They all look like they're waiting for something to be put in their mouths.
well, I mean, they're kissing ass,
And
but figuratively and
but no,
literally.
I have never seen so many men talk with duck lips in my entire life. I don't even do the duck lip thing. I've
It's
never done the duck lip thing.
maybe it's Botox. Who the fuck knows? Maybe it's
I
some
don't
work that
know.
they've got done. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. But
But
yes,
yes, yeah,
sorry.
them all of them are just crazy. And I don't know if there's anything else, any other people you wanted to single out in terms of the media.
Well, no, it just and the way that you watched the way that everyone is being questioned and the differences between like I watched Jim Jordan be questioned the other day and I can't
Hmm.
think of her name right now on CNN and I watched her push back 10 times. Like
Yes.
she asked Abdul Al Sayed this question. I think it was 4 or 5 times, right?
Hmm.
Jim Jordan, she asked him once to follow up and then she's like, "All right, thank you for talking. We'll see you next time."
Right.
And the pushback on the way that they see the Browns, the Muslims, the
Right.
others that get, and the way that they bow and kowtown to the Republicans, the corporate Democrats, it's abusive. It's
Yeah.
honestly it's abusive at some point in time because we're never seeing the real picture because they too have a vested interest in what the outcomes of these things are. It's the whole thing with Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells' story is so much bigger, and the mainstream media is not covering this. Thank
Before
God
we
right
get
now.
to
Oh,
before
I'm
we
sorry.
get to Nolan, because I know that's going to be the big sort of thing that we'll probably spend the
Yeah.
rest of the episode on. I also want to pepper in there as the media has kind of, I saw it kind of go up for a day or two and then just kind of get swept under the rug. The entire thing about the reflecting pool against that
Oh, yeah.
Olympian
Yeah.
just got completely dropped.
Yeah. They
And
all
the
against
DOJ
everyone,
was like,
against everyone now. All of
yep,
the charges against the other four people.
yeah,
Yep.
other people too. But the DOJ was like, yeah, there's no sufficient evidence because there's nothing
The
happening
Department
here.
of the Interior. Yep.
And Trump is still going like, nah, they did it. The dissonance between an administration and the media and all this stuff, and then I haven't heard anything since like the past couple days about it. It just dropped. I'm like, why aren't more people like, because this was a big thing, not because progressives made it a big thing, but because Republicans made it a big thing. So for it to just be dropped by the wayside, it should be a red flag to be like, no,
Well,
we're not going to drop it. Just like no one's going to drop the Iran war, the IDF
right.
merging, the fucking Epstein files.
We have
This
to
should
start
be a
the
thing
stock
that should
market
be
back up
boom, boom,
again on
boom.
Monday. That's why we're not talking about it. We have
Exactly.
to pretend like there are talks happening when Iran has said there are no talks happening. We're not
Exactly.
talking to y'all. They're talking to other countries, like they were
Yeah.
talking to Oman, but they weren't talking with us. So we're not even in discussion with them. But all week we're going to say we're almost there. The stock market will tank or go up or whatever it's going to do, and then over the weekend things will fall. They'll get discounted, people will buy them, then the stock market will go back up on Monday and then people will make all of their money.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry, the people that already have the money who are already playing the stock market who are already in there. As
While the
your
rest of the
401ks,
people
right, suffer.
while the rest of the people, uh, seem to have lost their object permanence because then,
Right.
all the people who watch the news and whatnot just tend to forget. And while there is a lot, and you can't care about every little thing, it's like these things, these little things are building uh, to the big like orb in the sky of like,
Absolutely.
he is a liar. The right wing people are liars. Things like Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire is again leaking and is only being propped up because he's an elitist. They're all funneling money back into themselves. They're not making any money.
Absolutely.
People don't want to be
Absolutely.
sponsors usually for these things. They don't want to advertise. They don't want to be associated
But look,
because
this is not just him. This
bottom
is,
dollar.
look, David Packman,
Oh yeah,
David
yeah. David Batman,
Packman,
yes.
David Packman, David Packman wants to
On
go
his
after the
dark,
DSA.
dark
Are you,
left.
are you fucking kidding me? Are you
It's
kidding
that
me,
APAC
David?
money. It must be really good.
The APAC money, well, I mean, even for young creators, right? It's like 8 grand a month. Brian Tyler Cohen, he's getting paid by them. They all have this angle. David Pacman, too, from Argentina and he is a legal citizen of the United States and has every right to be here. But you're not going to come here and try to degrade people that are trying to move up the working class of this country. Because as Francesca Guang, who is running for the governor to get the nominee for the governor of Wisconsin, said,
Yep.
we want to sit here and talk about serious. We can't talk about serious when the minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour.
Yep.
People are not surviving. You can't tell me. I want to know how you're supposed to afford rent because you don't have a fucking mortgage on 7.25 an hour.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to afford rent? How are you supposed to afford food, lodging, healthcare,
Transportation,
transportation,
phone,
any emergency needs? How are you
right?
supposed to create a savings account for your emergency needs? You're not going to be able to because you can't even pay the fucking bills you have this month.
Right.
There the anyone who is upper middle class and over, they're completely out of touch. I'm sorry, they're completely out of touch. As I said before, if you're making over 400K a year, 500K a year, you have no idea what's happening down here on the lower levels.
Yeah.
I have no idea. And I'm not suffering. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm suffering. Okay. I am not the one. But I also am not making $400,000 a year.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, and the people who, even the people who are finding a way are one or two or half of an
Yeah,
oopsie
exactly.
away.
Away from it.
So,
So
and the media is not really sticking with,
no,
the understanding that and the understanding and the reasoning of why movements like the DSA are
exists.
working.
Right.
Yeah.
And why
On
did they
top
come
of
forward?
Yeah, on top of, them being lined with, whatever corporation, right, left, or, foreign
Right.
feeding it. They
Right.
also genuinely, I mean, I don't know, it's half disingenuous, like, they're intentionally being disingenuous, but also it's another half is like, maybe some people are just stupid. They take the check, they don't need to know the in between, and they're just
They don't.
stupid.
They don't.
And so
They don't.
that's
They
why
don't.
they don't understand. That's why they don't get it. That's why Joe Scarborough and his narrow bird face on a big,
Oh,
like, horse flat iron skull doesn't get it.
they don't
But
want to know how the sausage is made. They don't
mm,
want. They
they
don't
don't
want to know
care.
how the
They don't
sausage is
care.
made.
Yeah, they don't want. It's not that they want to know. They don't care.
But they
But
never. And that's the other. They talk to these billionaires all the time. When does labor get a consistent seat at the table? And I'm
right,
not talking about the heads of the unions. I'm talking about when do you have average every. You should have an average person on your damn show for every fucking thing you're doing
yeah,
because you are completely out of touch with the average person. You will do a 30-second news story on someone and then you will keep it moving because it doesn't affect your groceries.
right,
But you know what? It's affecting that person's groceries. The way that we frame things, the way that, so I'm going to get into Nolan Wells now
yep,
because
yep.
the
I was
way
just
that
about
we
to.
have framed
Yep.
this, where automatically these are good white kids, and somehow this black boy just went out there on an island and he decided that he was going to allow the group of people that he was with to leave him and the girl that he was supposedly courting, he was going to let everybody leave him because he just wanted to stay out here on this island and become fucking Gilligan all of the sudden. It
Right.
is absolutely absurd. And now we've had that individual come out. She enhanced all of the audio from the entire call
Yep.
where they were calling for help because they were supposedly sinking. And I'm going to tell you, before that call came out, the enhanced version of that call, I told your father, I said, there's something else happening there. I said, there's some things happening in the background because he's not paying attention to the
He's
caller.
distracted. Yep.
He's distracted by what's going on. Now we hear there's a female talking, please don't die, Nolan. You know what? I've never heard of any other female being amongst that crew until this very phone call. And
So,
someone saying, please don't die, Nolan. Nolan,
right.
please don't die. You fucking killed him, you guys. I don't know how you did it. I am alleging that. This is all just in my humble opinion. But I am alleging that something went down and he was, I'm not sure if there was an altercation and there could have been an accident where he fell and hit his head. That propeller could have hit him somehow. I don't know. I think he was more clocked with something, but I want to know why the second autopsy, they were not able to review his lungs and they were also not able to review his neck because the medical examiner and examiner in Mississippi kept those things. I also want to know why his body was so fucking degraded because he should have been kept on ice until he got over there to that second examiner. The only way you're allowing that to happen is because you're trying to hide some fucking evidence. And then, God love Nancy Grace. Oh, she annoys me so much.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
but
that clip of
then,
her.
we find, I mean, she cooked that stupid Brandon Tatum. I love that DL Hughley said, who the fuck identifies themselves as their former career? She cooked Brandon Tatum. But not only that, then you find out that the mother of one of the kids is somehow a judge that's closely affiliated with the medical examiner's office, the one who did the autopsy on Nolan Wells.
I mean, we knew she
All
was a
kinds
judge
of shady
before,
shit.
and we knew that there was something happening. But I just want to back up because we had talked either yesterday or the day before about the enhanced clip that came out, and the version of that enhanced clip that I listened to was cut off at the beginning when they were like, "Don't die, yo Nolan," this, that, and the third. Right when the thing was ringing or had been just picked up
Hmm.
before, I can't remember who was on the call. I don't think it was Tristan, right? It was,
I know.
uh,
I don't know if it was the Warren kid. I don't know which kid was on the
yeah,
call.
which one? But
Yeah.
before it was even said, "Hey, the bilge pump and we're taking on water," that stuff. I didn't even hear the stuff before that, and you had to send me. So again, people are already, whether it's individuals, media, both, are clipping things in and out, right? And then I didn't even hear because it was probably like a partially enhanced version. I didn't even hear the thing interspersed, like the woman saying, like I did hear the voice, but I did not hear the woman saying like, "Please don't die, Nolan,"
Yeah.
or something. After
Yeah. I would like to hear
after
the
the
entire thing.
tow, what was it, the tow, the shipping, the boat tow company that they
And
called, right?
I'm a little confused on that because one person says they canceled the tow, and
Right,
something early on said that the tow showed up and towed them 3 miles and then they were good. So
right.
there's a little bit of something going on, and I'm not clear on
There's
that yet.
from the outset, and that from the outset, since this was even picked up, no one has gotten a like none of these stories overlap in any way.
No.
There's always something different.
Yep.
There's added or subtracted details.
Right.
There's uh there's characterizations of Nolan that other people are like, Nolan would never do that, even as like a young man, like who's trying to have some girly time with a girl, wouldn't just like leave, or let his homies leave him.
Yeah, there's a lot of
This
things that would be outside of the character
this
that,
whole thing that
yep.
now it's three or four boats, which raises more questions on how, like, if there's like 30 people that are coordinated to have come in this group, not one of you knows a damn thing, right? And back to Tatum, and his shucking and jiving, interviewing that one dude. I think
Warren.
it was like, yeah.
Warren. Hmm.
Um, and that interview was just waffling and fapping about because you know Tatum asked, where was Nolan during all this, and he's going off on, I wasn't really paying attention, it was all like fun, it was all like good, we were hanging out and this, that, and the third, and just like not really saying anything. They are trying to be as vague as possible, but also they're stupid because they've locked into like five different stories,
Right.
and it doesn't, at this point it does
It doesn't
not
bode well. Yeah.
matter if it was an accident, right? Best
Oh,
case, and yeah,
absolutely not.
most
Absolutely not.
generous if it was an accident. This has only made it like 10 times worse. When you come back home, don't tell the dude's mother, delete all your social media and lawyer up. Like, I know that, yes, you should not, when things like this
Because you
happen,
know
do not,
something.
right? But like,
That's the
yes,
person that
something,
knows something.
yeah, something like this up, yes, you don't want to talk without legal counsel. I get it, right? But you went completely silent. You know something, or you did something, or both, or a mixture, or someone who did do it. Like,
That will be the
there's
person that
something,
makes the deal. That will be the person that makes the deal with the
right?
prosecution, though.
Yeah,
That will be the person that has all of the information and who will make the deal. I don't know which one that is, but that will be that person.
but yes, and then they can't, the second autopsy where, yeah, the lungs were held for whatever reason, so they couldn't really see the
Well, they
time in
said they
which he
kept that stuff
drowned.
for the investigation, is what they said.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
for
yeah.
whatever reason, that's what that translates to. Whatever reason we've decided to not
Although
allow this. funded,
That
but
doesn't make any sense either because the
exactly.
cop initially came out, the sheriff came out and said, "Oh, there's no foul play down here.
Exactly.
Nothing happened. There were just some good old boys out there on the island drinking and having a good time on the weekend. And that poor little old colored boy, all he did, he drank too much. And then they gone, done let him drown." Yeah, that's not how this works, dude.
You know what this screams of Stephen Avery making a murderer. That's what
Yes.
this screams
Oh,
of too.
absolutely. Oh my God.
There's
Oh,
there's
that poor
some
son of a
people
bitch.
that
Stephen
for
Avery, we're still
whatever
thinking about you. Yeah.
I look him up every so often because I think his nephew was freed a few years ago.
Yes,
Like,
because he
yeah,
came out and said some bullshit because again, that person unfortunately has some difficulties and they were able to trick him and do some things. So
right,
yeah,
and he was underage and all that stuff. So
right.
a bunch of that stuff just didn't. I mean, he still had to serve some time,
And
but
the worst attorneys in the world, those boys could,
mhm.
oh my God, anyway. Yeah.
So, but that's what this screams of. Only it doesn't. It's not the whole. I don't know if it's the whole town, but select individual did not like Nolan for one probably very obvious reason, and probably a few unknown reasons. Um, and
Well, he was a
he,
superstar. His
yeah,
light was big. He was going places. He had potential, right?
hmm
He had possibility.
yeah,
Um, his father talked about how structured he was and what the moves were to be made. And I mean, the NFL was the goal, dude.
right.
That's what he was looking at. And when you look around that pack, it don't look like them boys had that. I'm sorry, this was a tall, attractive, fit, young black man.
Kind,
Kind.
thinking of all. He was a leader.
He was a leader and he
Yeah,
was a quiet leader.
yeah.
And you
Spoke
all
softly and carried a big stick, as one
exactly.
of your favorite Republicans might say, might have said.
So, something ain't right here. There's just
Yeah.
it doesn't pass the smell test. Something's not right. Again, like you said, if there was an accident, even with an accident, there's culpability on their parts at this point in time, and they're responsible for covering it up. And so that also comes with things, but his mother and his father and his brother all deserve, and Nolan deserves for the truth to come out, and no one should have made any decisions either way. So I'm waiting for the investigation, but I am going to bring it to light as many times as it needs to be.
Of
So,
course.
with that being
Thanks for
said,
listening.
peace.